7,000 pages of emails, we were just talking about them, from Hillary Clinton's private server have been released by the State Department.
All right, and here's a shocker. A whopping 125 of them contain classified information.
Doug Luzader is live in Washington with a breakdown. Doug?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, a lot of documents here. Now, what the Clinton team is going to argue here is the point in time at which this information was classified. The State Department says it was recently classified. The Clinton team will argue that it wasn't classified at the time it was sent. Will that matter? We'll see. But there are certainly some very interesting tidbits here. And you remember very early on, Hillary Clinton said the reason why she set up this private in-home server was because she didn't want to have to carry more than one device. Well, take a look at this email that surfaced as a result of this dump. An aide says to Hillary Clinton, "Your iPad has arrived." So apparently there was another device. Hillary Clinton says, "That is exciting news. Do you think you could teach me to use it on the flight to Kiev?" And then we have this one, Hillary Clinton to another person who emailed her, "Please feel free to use whatever my current email address may be anytime." And her email address did change more than once. Now the issue here is really what we don't know, because a lot of the emails simply look like this, with big portions of it. Look down there at the bottom, just been blanked out by the State Department. So there is a lot. There are a lot of things about these exchanges that may remain a mystery. And remember, there are tens of thousands of emails that Hillary Clinton simply deleted, and we may never know what those contained. Her server is now being examined pretty closely by the FBI to determine whether it was completely wiped clean or whether they can forensically kind of resurrect some of that data. But this is certainly not going to go away anytime soon. And as you know, Hillary Clinton's numbers have really been taking a beating, especially in those important early states of New Hampshire and Iowa. Back to you guys.
Doug, thank you for that. So this is the largest batch of email dumps. Another is set to come in April. They just keep being released. We have to keep digging through them. And she apparently, and those in her staff, were aware of the need to protect sensitive information when discussing international affairs over email with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton at the time. These emails back and forth show at the same time concern by her aides, but yet kind of blowing it off by Hillary Clinton when it comes to the privacy and security of our nation here.
Absolutely. She noted in the conversations, they're talking around things. They're talking about the country we discussed. They're notifying this could be classified. I mean, they know it. Yeah. She knew it from the beginning. I mean, as someone who served in the military, you know what classified information looks like, and it's even more classified in real time. You talked about how much has come out already. That's only 25% of the total amount has dripped out. It's going to keep drip, drip, drip. Well, and as you mentioned, so many that will never be seen.
Does it concern you as someone who served our nation quite well and continues to do so?
Absolutely. I mean,
does it concern you that she was so kind of at ease with the fact that these emails were going across?
It also, in conversations with Sidney Blumenthal, one of her advisors, who she ignored the guidance not to have him be advisors. These emails talked a lot about that. It reminds me of, I'm not a big South Park fan, but Eric Cartman used to say, "Whatever, I do what I want." And that's what he did. That's what she effectively said. "I'm going to have my own email server. I'm going to talk to Sidney Blumenthal if I want." She was running her own gig.
Here's something that was in one of the emails to give you an excerpt of. To Sidney Blumenthal. He said this, actually, about the Republican Party. He said it's captive. It's a captive to the swamp fevers of the extreme right. It's out of power, desperation for political power, willing to say anything to grab it, willing to use extremists to climb back to power. Also rips into the Tea Party, says basically a hate party. Also calls essentially John Boehner an alcoholic who's selfish and incompetent and lazy.
But this was someone who was not supposed to be...
And this is someone that Hillary Clinton was told you can't have him in the State Department. Instead, he's commenting everyone from Sudan to Northern Ireland, to what she should be doing in Libya. And obviously, because of the discovery of Sidney Blumenthal's emails, we found out about a private server. We also found out about multiple addresses. We also found out that Hillary Clinton flat out lied to us at the United Nations when she first addressed the existence of this private server and said, "I did it because of consolidation of devices," when we know she, in a big heralded way, as Doug just went over, in 2010, she talked about getting an iPad, and that how she's not technical savvy, but she's even impressed her daughter by the fact that she lives on the iPad.
Yeah, she lives on the iPad. She loves the iPad, loved to swipe. Here's the concerning. You said she wasn't supposed to speak with Sidney Blumenthal. Why? Who told her not to? It was President Obama. He was denied a post when she wanted to appoint him to one, and he said, "Oh, no, I remember how he treated me in the election when we were going up against each other in primary season." Absolutely not. Yet this is the person that she runs to for advice.
Sidney Blumenthal, also the guy who coined the phrase "the permanent campaign." So they're worried about, making her look good in the process. Thankfully, we're going to be asked these questions of former Vice President Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney at 7:15. We're really looking forward to this interview, and I know you'll enjoy it as well.
All right, 6 minutes now after the hour. There's a change in the polls, and not so much that Donald Trump is coming down, that Ben Carson is going up. Monmouth went out and did a poll, and they found out that not only is Ben Carson on the march, when it comes to their poll, he's in a dead heat with Donald Trump in Iowa. And in terms of favorability, he is by far the most favorable, looked at the most favorably by likely Republican voters in Iowa. Man, how has he done it?
Well, yeah, Charles Krauthammer said, look, this is going to be the summer.